Office coffee, huh? I know a place with the best Java in town. Maybe we could,
Java? Isn't that what you're doing all day?
No, what? Wait, you think Java like in...
Yeah, the one that you're using for website.
Oh, no. What we do is called JavaScript. Java is something completely different.
Java was created by Sun Microsystems in 1995 as a class-based, object-oriented...
Boring! Nobody cares. Here's what you need to know. Java, corporate people. JavaScript, cool people. Java, Android apps. JavaScript, websites. Java lives in its own little world. JavaScript, in your browser. Java, also coffee. It gives you energy. JavaScript, it's like fragile code that sucks your energy. No, wait, it sucks. No, but we can take it because we survived the hardships. And by surviving hardships, you build grit. And we build patience. And
The more you know.
So how about the coffee? Actually pretty good. Welcome to the Secret Tech Club, a video series where we make tech fun and bearable with skits, podcasts and presentations. My name is Kang and I'm a creative developer-y person at Zuma. Future software and websites might not even be built by us, but by AI. So why are we still here talking about tech? Here's our take. We're headed for a wonderful and exciting future, and it's a perfect opportunity to catch up with the basics. Our goal with the Secret Tech Club is to make technology less intimidating by turning fundamental concepts into something fun and approachable. Oh, and technology is a pretty wide term, so let's scope it to the thing we know best, which is web technology, okay? And today we're gonna talk about the languages we use when developing websites and web apps. Whether you are a project leader, CTO, or an AI coder, I believe it's great to at least know some of the basics. I personally always find more comfort in knowing more than to know less, even if it doesn't always make me happy. Anyway, I'm gonna meet up with my colleague Nihat, and hopefully she won't ditch me this time. Come along. Hi, welcome to the deep dive. First off, thank you Nihat for coming here and also for joining me and playing along in my skit.
Welcome.
It was very fun, although I think it was kind of shit of you to just leave me hanging there, don't you think? It was the right decision because it's never okay to hit on a colleague. Not in my book, especially not if you're married, right? Show your ring. No. Yeah, but for the sake of it, let's ask viewers, are you team Kang or are you team Nihat? Vote in the comments. And if there are no comments, you can just send an email to info@zuma.agency. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump to the main topic, which is web languages. Do you know what my goal here is today?
Well, to make tech easy to understand?
Yes, it's not to impress you. I don't know how to do that. Web languages are fundamentally three things. It's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, you can think of it like a house. It's a structure. And then comes the CSS. Then you put the decoration and furniture and so on. Third component is JavaScript, which is a functionality. It's electricity, it's a lighting. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It's a DNA of the web. Without HTML, there's nothing to decorate. Without CSS, it's just plain and boring structure. And without JavaScript, it's lifeless, right? So this is the basic HTML document. First, look at the HTML. That's the wrapping tag around all the content. Then there's this head. Inside here, we have styles and some SEO tags. And inside the body, we have all the content stuff. Here is what HTML tags look like. The first one is, you probably recognize, it's H1, means heading 1. It's a page title. And then there's a P, which stands for paragraph. Okay. And inside this paragraph, we can also put links, which is an A tag. And then there's something called attributes. So all the tags, you can have attributes like this. For example, the button, we can set a primary class to indicate that this is a primary button. We can style it differently. And the A tag we saw already, and the link needs a destination, which we set with the href attribute. And the third example is a checkbox. It's hard to speak about HTML without talking about divs and spans. Divs, what is that? It's short for division. It creates a big block, a big chunk that gets its own space. So it's a big container, okay? Inside div, you can put headings, paragraphs, and everything. Then we have inline elements. And inline means that it flows with the text. So here, for example, we have a paragraph, and inside the paragraph we have a span that wraps the text inline container. And on the span we set color blue. So we tell the browser that inline containers is gonna be blue. And that is what happens if you select the text in a rich text editor and set color blue. That is what's going to happen underneath. So yeah. Another thing that you will hear about when you talk about HTML and SEO is semantic versus non-semantic. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Yes, you know what semantic means? No? Yeah, okay. So semantic element simply means that it has meaning. This H1 says a real heading, right? Even if it didn't say a real heading, we would know that this is heading 1 because it's H1. It means something, right? The opposite is a div. Div have no meaning. It's just a container. So here we set this div, we set style, we set the font size of 32 pixels and make it bold, the way font width bold. It's gonna look like a heading, but it's not a heading. And if we compare with the house analogy, right? So you know, a house, you have standards, right? We have standard. You need to have windows, and they need to be at a certain height and size, and so on. And door, how wide it must be, and so on. So it has some standards, and those can be compared to headings and paragraph. And we could put the door handle on the window, so it become a window door. It looks like a door, but no one wants to climb up and go inside that door. Right? And that's the meaning. We need to use semantic tags so that Google understands this is a heading, and this is what we're gonna put in the search results, and also screen readers. So if you can't see, you have to read it. Then it will say the heading page title is this, and it will look for the H1. So it's important to use semantic tags. Let's talk about CSS. And CSS, I think that name actually has some meaning to it. It means cascading style sheets. The interesting part is the cascading. You know what that means, right?
No.
No, okay. I think I have a good picture. I have a nice picture here. Yeah. So you see here, the example here is that that is an A tag, has a color blue, and then like the second level, then it's the color sets to purple, and then the third level, then the color becomes orange. So by the end, it's going to be orange because it goes in layers. So maybe the browser has a default set the links to blue, then your website sets it to orange. Then it gets orange instead of blue. So let's look at what a CSS rule look like. And it's here, for example, we have the H1, the heading 1, and we set the color blue. Okay. I think it's kind of simple to understand. And if we break it down, we can explain this rule like this. The H1 is a selector, and then we have a property, the color. And we set the color to a value which is blue, and it becomes a CSS rule. And there are multiple ways of adding styles to HTML. For example, I already mentioned that the browser has default. So even if you didn't have any styles, you're gonna get this Times New Roman and blue links, purple if you have clicked on the links you recognize, and white background. You know, so this is the most common and recommended way. You use a link tag to load a style sheet. So you see this styles.css, that's a file. We tell the browser load this file where all our styles are. But you can also insert styles directly on a web page like this. You put it in a style tag and you put the rule inside there, and the headings is going to be blue. And lastly, we can also put the style directly on the tag like this. You set a style equals color blue. This is the least recommended ways, because if you hover it, we want another color, then this overrides everything. It's a cascade. It starts actually from here. If this is red first, if this exists, then this is going to be applied. And then if we set it on the heading, then color is going to be the final color. I think you would agree that it's very easy to read. If you understand the tags, then you see here, it selects a box there, style. It has a background to hot pink, color white, font size 32, padding 100 pixels, border radius 20 pixels. It reads like a normal language, so you can guess that the box will be quite big, at least 200 pixels, and rounded corners and hot pink. Yeah, and of course, all links must have state, so you hover on it, you click on it, you visit it, you can set different colors. For this, we use so-called pseudo classes. So it's like the A tag, colon, and then visited, hover, and so on. Also very easy to read. And we cannot talk about CSS without talking about media queries, which is responsive design that you heard about, right? Oh, I thought about it last night, like, what is media queries? No, I didn't even understand it myself, but I had to understand it when responsive design came. Suddenly we were told that you have to make it look good on the phone, and how do I do that? You use something called media queries. Okay, so I think media queries very associated with responsive design. For example, here we have heading 1. It's 32 pixel by default. And then we have this media query. We have this @media on the screen of a minimum width of 600 pixels. Then it's going to be 64 pixels instead. Okay, I don't want to bore you too much, but I need to point out that media queries today can be used for much more. For example, you can use it to help people with accessibility issues. The first example here is they prefer a dark color scheme. Or if you don't like too much motion, you get motion sickness. If we have a large animation on this box, we can set in a media query that people who prefers reduced motion get no animation. Okay, let's jump to JavaScript. Okay, and I read up on the history yesterday night, and it seems like again. Okay, so I'm back at that JavaScript confusion. Java was created by Netscape. Have you heard about Netscape? That's history.
No, just when Daniel has mentioned it.
Yeah, but it used to be Netscape, Internet Explorer. Those two created the first browsers. Now you're probably born after Netscape died. I remember. But Netscape was a company that invented JavaScript, and they wanted to use Java in the beginning. So they wanted to use Java for the web, but they decided, nah, that's not a good idea. We're still gonna keep the Java name, JavaScript, just for like marketing. It's no wonder that people are confused. Okay. But here's something I need to point out. JavaScript is a full-fledged programming language. Right? And I know from someone who not interested in code at all, HTML is code, CSS is code, like JavaScript is code. And they are code, but they're different. So HTML and CSS, like they are more descriptive languages. And there's something very important distinction here, and that is that HTML and CSS are designed to not fail. You can write bad HTML, bad CSS, but your page will always show. Almost, unless you hide things, but it will always show. It will never break. It can look ugly, but it will not break. JavaScript is not the same. If you make bad JavaScript code, it breaks because it has errors. And errors is something that is good in programming because you need to know where things fail. I'm not going to do a programming lesson here. I just want to show you what you can do with JavaScript on the page. Here, for example, and it still reads pretty well, is a button, and you put an on click. So when you click it, it's going to alert hello. So it's going to show a message that says hello. Okay, you click that, you get hello. Second example is when you click, it says the document body style, which is the page body. It sets the background to light blue. Third example is a little bit more advanced. It shows a prompt with an input box where you type in your name, and then it says hello name. So if you type Nihat, then it's going to say hello Nihat. That's 3 examples you can do to add interactivity to your website. Normally, this is how we load our JavaScript. So yeah, in the HTML you see these script tags, and it loads a .js file, which is a JavaScript file. Okay, let's do one final comparison. HTML, it's declarative. It's you declare on the document, these elements exist, but there's no style, there's no logic. CSS, it's a so-called implicit language. You can describe the styles. I want it to be hot pink, and I want it to have this spacing and so on. And sometimes, and browser, they apply them, but not necessarily the same. And then we have the JavaScript, which is the last part, and it's a so-called explicit language. You define the behavior with very clear instructions, and it does it exactly like you describe it. So that's it. Those are the 3 core languages that I believe are interesting for today's talk. That's what the browser cares about, right? But just want to mention in one slide that usually we don't code directly in HTML or CSS. We actually using other languages. So for example, in HubSpot, we create our templates in Hubble, which is kind of like HTML, but we can say that here this field goes here, and let the editor select an image and put it here. So, but in the end, what goes into the browser is HTML. And then there are backend languages at C#, and then there's something called PHP. So I think you just understand that these exist. In the end, it's going to be HTML. Otherwise, the browser won't show anything. Same with CSS. We historically used a lot of Sass and less, which is like more convenient version of CSS. And for JavaScript, we use something called TypeScript, and sometimes use frameworks. And also good to mention to the viewers that these frameworks that you hear about, React, Vue, they allow you to create web apps very conveniently, but in the end, in the browser, it's just going to be JavaScript. That's a wrap. I hope you learned something. Or what do you think, Nihat?
Yes, I actually learned a lot. Thank you, Kai. It was very great.
You had fun? Was it bearable?
Yes.
Good for you. Okay. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next time we should do it in the conference room.
Oh, definitely not. You will take a lot of colleague.
I know a place with the best Java in town. Perhaps we could, You have to finish the line! Office coffee, huh? Office coffee, huh? Hey. No, hey, I forgot. I was office coffee, huh? Okay, no, stop. Okay. You think Java like in
the one for using websites?
No. What we use is called JavaScript. Java is completely different. I overplayed it. Sorry. Place with the best Java in town.
Java?
Maybe we
Isn't that
too fast about. I didn't have time to invite place with the best Java in town. Perhaps we could,
Java?
Boring! Here's what you need to know. Actually pretty good.
Java was created by Sun Microsystems as an object-oriented Java was created by Sun Microsystems in 1995 as an object-based, class-based project.
That's right.
It's a rap for real.
It's a wrap. It's getting too hot here. Oh, that's